Okay, welcome everyone. So we'll get through the legalities while everybody has a chance to sign on, because we got a lot to talk about today, some good things to talk about today. So remember, past performance is no indicator of future performance. We are not registered investment advisors. Anything in this show is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in this show is a offer to buy or sell any security option, whatever. Um, always consult a professional, okay? And read the fine print, all right? That's important. So let's give everybody a chance to sign on here while we do some final adjustments and make sure our screen's looking good, hair's right. So, okay, so we got a couple viewers on. Let's go ahead and get started, okay? It was a fun day today. First of all, like we said, read the disclaimer for all you late shower uppers. We cashed in that GDX sale. We bought that on Friday. We cashed it out today for a nice little 35% in 3 trading days. So that was a good one. We were real happy about that. Welcome, everyone. It was a good trade. The reason we sold that one today was it looked like it was getting a little bouncy. Now, gold's at a kind of an inflection point right now. And it's not really a technical inflection point. It's below that 1225 on the spot, and it's above that 1200, which are psychological levels. But it's getting to the point where it's been on such a long downtrend that it's bound to get either a dead cat bounce or something like that. Started getting a little spunky late in the day, so we decided to take that 35% off the table. Whether we regret it tomorrow because it's up 50% or not, nobody ever lost money taking a profit. We had Snap earnings after the bell, and they hit estimates. They hit their profit number, but they missed on user data. So the stock actually at first kind of got all funky, but now it's up about 7-8%. It's been up as high as 10-11% today. We'll see how it opens up tomorrow. Of course, they have the conference call afterwards. We'll post the link to the earnings write-up in the comments section. But rather than do a quote and stuff today, we wanted to, we always try to give you guys some value. We always kind of share what we're trading, our trade ideas, in the hopes that whether you're a member with our service or not, you get some value out of the show. So let's talk about something that's on everybody's mind. And it's really a sore spot for a lot of people to talk about. I mean, it angers them so much they can't even talk about it, but we can. So let's kind of get into it. Let's talk about the media and you, a wealth investor. Okay. And we always like to refer to ourselves as wealth builders, right? We're not day traders. We're not really swing traders. We're opportunists in the market. It's just like with this GDX trade, right? A lot of times we'll position early, maybe 6-7 weeks out on a contract, looking for a move in a stock. We're not sure exactly when it'll happen, but we feel it'll happen. And we'll trade in that methodology, using that methodology sometimes. And sometimes it's like GDX, where we have a quick opportunity to get 35% in 3 days, right? This snap trade is a little bit longer. We opened this up a couple weeks ago. And you see, that's why we call ourselves opportunists, but really we're wealth builders, right? And you're a wealth builder. You're always just trying to make your little pot a little bit bigger, get a little bit bigger of a piece of the pie, however you want to phrase it. And a big challenge is, what is it? It's fake news, right? You hear it all the time, right? You hear it from the president of the United States. You hear it from all kinds of different people, right? Fake news, fake news, fake news. What does it really mean? I mean, as investors, what does it really mean to us as wealth builders? And what fake news is in our eyes? We have a little bit different of an interpretation of fake news. The normal interpretation would be that fake news is lies, right? It's news that's fake, whether it's fabricated, whether it's altered, whether the focus of it is changed. But what we consider fake news is anytime the news reporter or the news medium becomes the news or more important than the news, you're looking at fake news. Why is that important? Why is that important? It's just very important, right? The story loses its focus. Now, all of a sudden, instead of getting the what happened, when it happened, where it happened, you're getting the This is what I think happened, and this is what I think the reason it happened, and this is what I think it's gonna cause. You notice that word in there all of a sudden, think, right? That's the last thing you want from these journalists. You're not interested in their opinion. You're not interested in their prognostication for the ramifications of the news. You're looking for the news, right? So how does that play? How do you find this sweet spot, right, where the media works in your favor and you're building wealth, right? Well, the first thing is stay out of the nonsense. And there's a lot of nonsense, and it's all over there. And you see it all the time, right? You see it on Twitter, you see it on Facebook, you see it on all the social media, you see it in newspapers, you see it on the TV. It's just everywhere. Stay out of the nonsense. Stay off of Twitter. Take Facebook with a grain of salt. Take everything, Vox, whatever it is you like, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. They're all the same. Okay, they're all the same. Everybody has a bias towards one or the other, and it's always the same reason. Think about it. It's preaching to the choir, right? You're pissed off at Donald Trump. You hate the guy. You can't stand the guy. Do you go to Fox News to hear good things about him? Hell no. You go to a media, right, where you're going to hear what you want to hear. It's an echo chamber. Twitter is an echo chamber. Twitter is populated by celebrities and journalists, right? They are bigger than the news. When that happens, you ever notice anytime you see a news report, it's the first thing you see is all about the reporter, how important they are and all this stuff. Why do they have to tell you that? Why do they have to tell you that? You're there for the news, right? So all of a sudden, the focus becomes the journalist, and the journalist becomes the news. And now you're not getting news. You're getting opinion. Okay? So where does a wealth builder go to get his news? Well, we've got some tricks that we've used for a long time. We're pretty fortunate. We've been trading 35, 40 years. So we remember when the internet was birthed, right? We remember when www, we remember when companies like Tide and stuff wouldn't even get a website because they thought it was a fad. They thought it was a phenomena. They had no faith in the internet. They didn't understand it. They didn't want to believe it. We remember those days. We remember the days when email was AOL, right? You've got mail. We remember all that thing, the development of it. And so we've kind of seen the way things have developed, and we've experienced it. So we've got a real good feel, and we've come up with this system that we use at stockpickprofits.com, the trading team, all the experienced traders. What we do is, where do you get your news? So the first place is use the message boards. Message boards get such a bad reputation, and there's one in particular that's real good, stocktwits.com. And like any other public board or public forum, you're going to get a lot of crazies, right? You get the trolls, you get the nutcases, you get the people that are just posting to post, probably aren't even trading the market. But in that ecosystem, you have some very deeply vested, very serious, very intelligent wealth builders. And those are the ones you want to find. So you always, as you're first getting into the message boards, what you do is watch what people post. Do they post good information? Do they post charts that help you? Do they say, oh, market's going to crash because Trump's a freaking idiot? And that doesn't help you, right? And that makes no sense, right? I mean, even if he was an idiot, right? Does that mean the market's going to crash? Has it crashed? I mean, we're less than 1% from an all-time high on the S&P 500. How big of an idiot really is he? Well, if you bid into those guys, you'd be losing money right now, right? One of our favorite stories about the message boards is this girl that we follow. And every time US Steel X goes up, she calls for this huge crash of the stock. Oh, see you guys at 30. See you guys at 28. We've been watching this since $19. We bought X when we're at $19. So we followed the thread on the stock twits, and we got to know this one person. And just imagine if you were the kind of trader that you listened, right? And you just bailed on it. Well, we would have missed out on what? About a $15 run on a stock that pays a dividend and's got a lot of prospects going forward. So the first thing you want to do with those message boards is get to know the users. Follow the good ones. You'll start seeing that you've got a nice little list. When we sign on to stock twits to check what the talk is about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the market, you can pull up a particular thread of the people you follow, and we get some great information, and we try to share information, and you guys should too. Get involved. So this is opposed to hearing everybody's opinion. Now, of course, message boards will have a certain amount of opinion, but just like the news media, stay away from those. You you follow the people that show you charts, that give you good advice, right? And they justify it. Because here's the biggest thing about fake news. You want to combat fake news. This is the way you do it, right? So first of all, just stay off mainstream media. Use the cryon, no sound. That's what we do. We turn on the news in the morning in the trading room. We turn the sound off and we just watch the cryons. We stay on the message boards. We have particular people we follow that have good information, and we follow those. Guess what? Make sure everybody proves their work. Just like back in math when you were in the 8th grade, right? What'd your math teacher always tell you? Show your work, right? Show your work. Show me how you got to that conclusion. Do the same with your journalists, right? Don't just take an opinion for it. Show me the work. Give me a link to a credible article. Give me a link to a video where it actually happens. Show your work, right? Because remember something. Twitter, Facebook, these are not news sites, okay? To a certain extent, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox are not even news sites, right? I would say they're about 95% opinion shows, and somewhere in there, they throw in some news, right? So be very selective about where you get your news from. Like we said, you turn on the mainstream news, turn off the sound, watch the cryons. When you see cryons that are of interest or of importance, then you go to the message boards, you go to the trade rags. The trade rags are another one. Now, we say rags, but that's kind of a term of endearment from my generation. What that means is, any rag is just, we used to say that about anything that was good. Hey, we read that rag. Mad Magazine was a great rag. Tells you a lot about them, about us. But, stick with the trade rags, like with message boards. We like stocktwits.com. Now, how about for gold and oil? Well, there's a fantastic site for gold and oil, and it's great articles, and it's real articles, and it's articles where they prove their work. If they come to a conclusion, they have a chart, right? And it's laid out how it's going to get, how the stock's going to do, what they expected to do. They show their work, right? And that's kitco.com. We've talked about that before on the show. If you want to stay in touch with Twitter, use a site like twitchy.com. Now, yes, that was started by Michelle Malkin, and it leans conservative, but it's a summarizing of tweets. It shows you all the replies, good or bad. And look, you don't have to get involved with Twitter. It's just a read me, right? It's like reading the National Enquirer. Okay. So look, that's the way we handle the media. The bottom line here is don't trust anyone in the mainstream media. Everybody's got their homer, right? You're a fan of MSNBC, you're a fan of Fox, whatever. Just don't trust them. Make them show their work and make sure you verify everything you do. So one more time before we end the day, let's talk about the market a little bit. It was a good day, right? We had a nice push from the NASDAQ, ended up about 23, 24 points. The S&P is less than 1% away from the all-time highs. The Russell 2K, which is a small cap, participated. And the Dow had a really nice day, pushing up towards that 2,600. So it was a really nice day. And look at that VIX. That VIX is below 11. We were talking about this when it was at 15. And we were talking about it more at 13. And now it's below 11, right? So how much are the trade wars really playing on the market? Is that just sensationalism through the media that pushed on that market? Because it doesn't seem like it's bothering the market so very much right now. And the other thing is, too, we cashed out that GDX trade we've been talking about. We cashed that out for 35% in 3 days. Once again, if you're looking to become part of the team, there's an opportunity for you right there. Snap, we've been talking about for a few days. We've been in the Snap play for about 2-3 weeks. We had that earnings report. Good stuff. It's up about 7% after hours. We are still short AT&T. As we've been talking about, we just opened up that short a couple days ago. We're still long on AINV. They've got earnings coming up pretty soon. We'll see how that goes out. That stock trade's looking real good. We're still short the dollar. The dollar still keeps bucking us on that trade, but we haven't given up on that trade. We're kind of far out on the options. So look, guys, you guys have a great afternoon. It should have been a great trading day for everybody today. It was a nice start to the open. We got that nice gap up, gave us a nice little exit on our GDX trade. Again, 35% in 2 days. Look, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them down in the comments. Other than that, I think we're going to wrap up the show. Like we said, for our members, it was a great day. We got a little bit of money, 35% on 3 days. That snap trade's looking real good. And we're also long on Twitter right now. That trade early in the morning, it popped real quick and it was up real nice. And it kind of settled down with the sentiment of the market. Social media stocks in the afternoon. It seemed like once we got into lunch, social media stocks started to really take it hard. Facebook was down $1 or $2. It ended up down almost $2 for the day. It was started out the day nice and green, and then the social media stocks kind of turned over. Will it get a boost from the snap report tomorrow? Maybe. We'll see. We're definitely positioned right, and we're ready to make some money. So if you're not, one more time, links right down there. But you guys have a great afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon, right after the market, with another market update. And you guys play it smart out there, okay? Remember what we said about the media. One, make them show their work, okay? If they just give you an article and say, I think or I heard, just, you know what I mean? Take it with a grain of salt. Utilize the message boards. They're very critical and they can be very productive for your trading, okay? You just have to use them right. Make sure that you follow the right people. Make sure you stay away from the nonsense, okay? The other thing is, remember, Twitter, your social media are not news sites, okay? Go to a good, reputable source, okay? Like for commodities, we have our favorite, kitco.com. You'll find great articles on oil. You'll find great articles on currency. You'll find great articles about all kinds of commodities and world events. So build your little arsenal there. You don't have to follow along exactly how we do it, but that's a good guideline for getting started. So it was a good day for all of us today. Hope you guys had as successful of a trading day as we did. Good day for the market. Let's see how we do tomorrow. Tomorrow's hump day. We're about a day or two away from another round of football. So let's enjoy the afternoon. You guys have a great afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Doesn't look like we've got many questions. Look, you guys remember this too before we close. If you do tune into the show after the broadcast, you can always post questions in the comments. We get an alert of any questions and we will respond to them, okay? So you guys have a great day out there. We're still bullish on the market and we're still making money on it. So thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow after the market.